Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the amazing authors of one of our newest books. This one is called We Lead: Building Connection, Community, and Collaboration for Women in Business. This is volume 3 in an amazing series by lead author AliceAnne Loftus. And I'm going to shout you out, AliceAnne, before I introduce these amazing ladies. We would not be here without you. You had a ginormous vision and mission for this book series. I am constantly grateful and honored to be here with the stellar cast of co-authors that you brought in to talk about these topics. You guys, this is that book where oh, if I had just had this in the beginning of my business journey, right? It's like a team of coaches, and you're going to meet 3 of them right now who have some pretty amazing golden nuggets to share with you today. Heidi Schmidt is the founder of Heidi Schmidt Creative, where she removes the overwhelm of social media marketing for small to mid-sized businesses. Jen Howitt is a content strategist, Kajabi specialist, and your go-to expert to help you build and launch your online courses and memberships. And Maria Winters is a Maryland-based licensed clinical counselor with over 20 years of experience supporting adults and adolescents, passionate about fostering emotional wellness and open mental health conversations. Ladies, welcome. Heidi, you're going to start this party off today. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
So the why behind my chapter is this past year has been a season, and it's been a season of change, a season of pruning. And I think we as business owners always go through that. We learn the type of clients that we want to work with, and maybe they weren't the type of clients that we had been working with. We learn boundaries. We learn who in our lives are really going to be in our village and support us and lift us up. And so my chapter really touched on that. It was a big part of my life the past year. And, um, it's funny because when we started our chapters, I was like, I don't know what to write about. And then AliceAnne was like, pruning. Because I've had so many conversations with her about pruning, like finding the clients that fit and honing in on your ideal audience and just finding business is a lonely place. We talk about that all the time as business owners, and finding the people who are going to lift you up in challenging times.
Heidi, pruning is hard. You want to say yes to everything and everybody. And of course, we all know where that's going to lead. Can you remember back to when you started to do it? Like if you were going to give someone a little step forward, what would be the first step to have them thinking about this?
The biggest thing that I remembered, sorry. So, the biggest thing that I remembered was, and it wasn't just me letting go of clients, it was clients kind of like making a shift away from me, whether they were bringing it in-house, is that when you find the clients who aren't the right fit, or you find the people who aren't going to lift you up, who aren't going to give you the support that you need, you're making space for the right kind of clients. You're making space for the right people in your life. So it's hard. It's really hard. Like when you lose clients, like it's really hard. But when I look at the level of clients that I, clients who were like, well, I don't know if this is worth it. I don't know if you're worth it, who basically devalued me and the work that I was doing. And even friends who said, well, I wouldn't pay that much for you, or friends who were like, well, I don't think you can do this. Um, you're making space for better people. You're making space for better clients. You're making space to change your services. Maybe that service wasn't suiting you. Like you're just making more space.
Yes, this is such an important topic. And thank you for kicking this interview off so powerfully. I was in a coaching session actually just this week, and they were talking about this. And the statement was people will rise or fall to the level of belief of the people around them about you. And if you do not surround yourself with A-list people who love you and support you and believe in you. Sometimes you need that you need their belief more than you believe in yourself. You need those people to believe in you, right? So this is such a powerful topic. Thank you for sharing your journey and just for helping us understand and give us permission to prune. Time to prune, y'all. Like, yes. Heidi, thank you also for just saying yes to this, for being a part of it. Maria, I'm going to come over to you. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
Because it's my why is because it's common to see women look like they're achieving so much and they're being successful, whether in their work life or personal life, but crumbling inside. And it's a lonely place, and it's maybe this pressure that sometimes we feel to look like we have it all together, and none of us do. And it happened to me, and I share my story and how connecting with yourself, specifically with your emotions, is really the backbone to a sustainable, satisfactory, supportive life that we deserve. So my why is to show that you're not alone when it feels that way.
Keep your self-worth together when you know your own reality of not holding it together every day, but you also do know what you just said, like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. But then there's this mindset game. Tell me more.
Well, what do you mean? What mindset game are you referring to? Because there's
How
so many games we play in our
how
heads.
what's that? I'll say the same thing I said to Heidi. If you're going to give me a first step to grab onto that worthiness despite what's happening all around me, what would you say to that woman?
I think you have to really understand what that worthiness means, is to really know that you were born with that worth, and that is not selfish, that is not that you're mean when you start really selecting who you spend time with, the activities that you spend your energy with, like really crafting and designing your life, including the people around you. Like Heidi was saying, like really selecting those people around you because they can inspire you or bring you down, and really, really understand that putting yourself first doesn't mean that you're forgetting everybody else. But what we're doing now is putting ourselves back in the line, like really in the back or in the middle. My proposal is that you move yourself up. That I don't know where this belief that we have to be these giving, sacrificing women, and that's what makes us so valuable. Ditch that stuff. It is not sustainable, is not healthy, and it doesn't serve. It serves other people for sure, but it doesn't serve you. So I think when you really understand it and you take that position, a little bit of like grabbing the bull, what is the expression, the grabbing the bull on the horns or whatever, of your worth and why you're in this world. And I think it's liberating. It can be really freeing, understanding it and living it.
Yes, I like your proposal, and ditch all the rest of it, you guys, and grab the bull by the horns of this, right? And isn't it about time? I mean, like, we talk about this so much and we talk about it being a problem so much, but like, let's talk about the solutions and be in the solution of taking that kind of action. I mean, Maria, that's like, that's world changing, seriously, when we start with ourselves like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and with all the beliefs that we bring from upbringing or whatever that is, especially women, again, of how to hide emotions or, be present for everybody else. But it doesn't matter if night comes and you lay down in that bed and you say, I can't. I'm depleted. I'm exhausted. I can't do it anymore. But then you wake up the next day and you do it all over again because your worth is associated with that. And it's not good. Doesn't feel good.
We're going to whip these women into shape here. We're going to give them some radical self-care proposal. I love it. Maria, thank you for being in the project, for saying yes, for being here to share about these topics today. You guys are all such badasses. I love spending time with you and being inspired like this. Jen, tell me a little of the why behind your chapter.
The why behind my chapter comes from a very disappointing, confusing time in my calling, in what I thought I was going to do and be for the rest of my life, one that I'm still honestly wrestle with from time to time, and how I just did not allow myself to pivot or go in a new direction because I was so set on staying where I was. People were telling me I needed to stay where I was. They were confused themselves. And the more I shared that story with other people, the more I heard women say that they too were afraid to take a new path or pivot, or however you want to describe it, because they thought that they were failing if they were having to go in a new direction. And they thought that they would fail again. And because they couldn't understand why they weren't going to be in that place where they thought they were going to be for their entire lives, and other people were questioning it too, it made them second guess themselves. And so they stayed stuck. And it was something that resonated with other people. And I found it very healing, quite honestly, for myself to tell the story. And I'm finding that other people are resonating with it too.
Yeah. And of course, thank you for sharing, because as soon as the stories heal, they heal us to write them, but they heal somebody else to be recognizing themselves in your story. And I thank all three of you for doing that. You said something, it seems like we've got a little bit of a theme here today too, which happens a lot, but like when the people in your inner circle are even doubting your choices. And then you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe I should pay attention to that instead of coming inward, right? What else do you want to say about that?
I think that I think it's a little associated as well with what Maria was talking about. Even when you have a calling in your life, that isn't all of who you are. It is a part of who you are, but it's not your full identity. And I think that anytime we step away, when you talk about family systems and health, anytime someone tries to go outside the way the system's designed, even if it's for good, even if it's a healthy decision, the system tries to yank them back in, because that's how we all know how to operate. That's how we know how to relate to one another. And that's really what I think was happening in my community, is that no one knew how to relate to me as a business owner who was helping people build courses and memberships. This is not who they knew me to be. This is not their experience of me. And, it's not like I was going off doing something like radically unhealthy or crazy, but they didn't know how to relate. And so it was just pulling me back and pulling me back and pulling me back. And sometimes the bravest thing is just willing to go in the new direction, even when you can't convince everyone else why you're doing it, even when you can't really convince yourself why you're doing it, but just taking that next step, because then that opens up all of the other possibilities, and it starts to reshape the system of people who love you and they want to support you. They just don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to someone else talk about the topic the other day, and I loved the statement they made. They're like, go ahead and be delusional in your thinking. Like if you're paying attention to the people telling you to stick with reality, Jen, like what are you doing? then you're going to stay stuck. And believe me, the biggest visionaries on the planet are not staying there in that kind of lower level thinking. I love how all three of you are just kind of busting up, our limiting beliefs, which is these golden nuggets of awareness you're bringing to the table for us, for women business owners. And I thank all three of you for the vulnerable, amazing stories you put into the book. You then stepped up with your master teachings and strategies in the second parts of your chapter, which again is like having a whole team of coaches. So I can't wait for the readers to get a hold of this book. And I'll give you all a quick sneak peek of this beautiful cover of the book. While I'm saying that thank you, I want to say thank you to Jennifer Osterhaus for designing this beautiful book for AliceAnne and the rest of the co-authors. We lead. And I love the title as well, because yeah, we do it. We do it together. We do it in community and in collaboration, which is what AliceAnne is all about. And you ladies step up to the plate in that way every single day. So Maria, tell me, what does it mean to you to be an authentic leader?
I think is when you come to that understanding, when the person that you show to others and the person that you are in the loneliness of your house look similar. I think is when you stop pretending. In my case, I pretended for so many years, right? Even as an immigrant coming to this country, I wanted to fit in so many groups, and I started to forget who I really was and where I came from, and started showing people maybe what they wanted to see. And it wasn't until I realized that there's 8 billion people in the world, and there's just one of me. I bring a whole unique set of gifts, talents, and also stuff that I'm still working on, my weaknesses. All of that makes me. And when I embraced that and really thought, that's what I'm bringing, and started living truly to who I was, that's when I started to being an authentic leader. And my life changed, by the way. People liked me more when I stopped pretending. like and I wasn't so exhausted and so worried about fitting in and pleasing others. I don't even know if that answers your question, but an authentic leader is the one that I think does the work to find themselves truly who they want to be, and then lead with that.
Love it. Yes. Yes to that. Okay. Jen, what do you want to add to that? What else does it mean to you to be an authentic leader?
I think it really helps open up, particularly in the day and age of things that you're not quite sure what's real, what's not real. Is this really you? And then the sneak peeks that we get behind people's lives that we realize maybe are part of it, but they're usually polished up. We clean ourselves up real nice to present ourselves to others. And there's a good reason for that. We want to be professional in what we do. But the authenticity, I think, allows us to unlock the reality that none of us have it all together. Even people who we think do because of what we see. And that is part of our humanity. And I think being human is part of what we're losing. We're losing the ability to be human beings with one another. We're just these human doings who polish up real nice. And so I think it just allows us to really step into who we are as humans, and to be valuing other human beings that are around us in community.
Thank you for that. That's powerful. All right, Heidi, it's probably hard to go last on this question, but I know we're all nodding to what everyone is saying. What do you want to add to this? What does it mean to you to be an authentic leader?
Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your values. One of the most valuable pieces of advice that AliceAnne has given me in the many years that I've worked with her, that really I try to live and breathe by. When you're feeling anxious over something, it's because you're out of alignment with your values. And so when you are authentic, like, you're holding true to that. If there's a client who is, one of my values is communication. Like, if I have a client that's not communicating, like, I'm out of alignment with my values. Being authentic is showing up as who you are, living true to your values and your truth. You know, we've it's no secret that I'm running for political office now. And so if there's a client who doesn't like that or doesn't agree with me, like, that's fine, but this is who I am. I'm not going to sacrifice my values and my truth and my story to appease someone else.
I love anxiety can be a sign that you're out of alignment. Like sometimes we just are so anxious every day. We don't even think about why. And that can be the main cause, right? I loved that. Thank you for that. So I want to give all of you a chance to kind of leave people with a nugget about these strategies and what you're all about in these chapters. Jen, what's the most important thing you want people to know about when that dead end becomes a new direction? These words are right out of their titles, you guys.
I think the most important thing I want people to walk away with is allowing themselves to create the space to say when something is disappointing and confusing, and also to be able to reflect on the gifts that have gotten you this far, because those will help you walk into that new direction you're going to. Nothing is left behind. All of it has been part of what has created you and made you who you are and made you be able to do what you've done up to this point. So I think a lot of times, again, we just go from one thing to the next. We don't take time to pause and acknowledge the disappointment, the fear, the confusion, and then also to claim what makes us who we are and take that into the journey ahead.
There's one little thing I love talking about when someone brings confusion up, because I'm always discerning what's a yes and a no in terms of in my body. And I had a healer once say to me, it's easier to be confused, actually. You're not making a decision. So you're just sitting in this gray area. And for me, then confusion became a no very quickly, because it definitely wasn't a hell yes. It wasn't that light, awesome, strong, amazing feeling anymore. Confusion just puts you in this weird whatever state. That wasn't a yes. And that using that body awareness with confusion really helped me. Or just you're putting me off on that tangent there a little bit, making me think of that. And these are, this kind of awareness is, this will change your life. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Heidi, what's the most important thing you want people to know about cultivating growth in their lives and businesses?
Have clarity. Have clarity on your goals, have clarity on who your target clients are, and have clarity on what is also not serving you. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to those clients that like red flags are red flags for a reason. And a lot of us ignore them, and it's okay to acknowledge them, and it's it, it's okay to have boundaries also in life and in business, and it's okay to take space when you need it, especially from people who aren't serving you.
This is life and business changing advice, y'all. Just stop, pause the video, rewind just a minute, and just listen to that again and let it sink in. All of y'all. Like, yes. Okay, Maria, you're gonna close us out here with this for you. What's the most important thing you want people to know about that emotional fitness?
That emotions are not problems to fix. They are universal, they're human. So they lead the way. They are already leading the way of so many things that you do, whether in your personal life or personal or professional life. So really understanding what those emotions are, the messages that they're bringing. So it's really learning to cohabitating or having this relationship, this dating relationship with your emotions can really change the way you lead your life and your business. So my chapter, and it's an invitation to feel more, because the idea is not to feel less, it's just to feel more, but wisely. Okay, to feel more with more wisdom about it.
What a cool idea to be in a dating relationship with your emotions. That kind of gives this a perspective where you could be a little bit more gentle and a little bit more curious. This again this is perspective changing badassery, all of you today. Maria, Heidi, Jen, thank you so much for what you do in the world, for being here today to share it with everyone, for your beautiful contributions to the book We Lead. You guys, this is way more than a book. This is a very generous community who's ready to answer that question you might have. You want to carry on the conversation or you need some support. Come on down into the show notes. Everyone's hooked up with their websites and links down there. So please go explore what they're up to. We hope you go grab the copy of the book over on Amazon. I've got the link down below for that as well. And lastly, today, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.